some love if you enjoyed your weekend. Again, happy Mother's Day to all of you. I'm super excited for today's call, ladies and gentlemen. Fired up and excited about this call. And I want to go ahead and have you guys not only grab your pen and pads, but go ahead and get some folks on this call. We're going to have a short talk. And I believe today's call is so necessary in everything. And we coming off of a weekend like we just did. I think today's call is so necessary. It truly is for us to really have that impact that yesterday meant to me. And a lot of times we hear everybody say, well, it's always Mother's Day. It's always to show love to everyone all the time, and absolutely. But I believe being under the microscope is a beautiful thing, to be able to have that, to be able to appreciate that. And it leads why I have the topic that I have today, ladies and gentlemen. It leads why I have the topic that I have today, because I think it's so necessary for us to have this dialogue that we're having. It is so necessary for us to have this dialogue, right? Because one of the greatest secret to unlocking wealth, ladies and gentlemen, is having a good heart, a cheerful heart. A cheerful heart. And you're probably saying, okay, what does he mean? Well, one of the secrets of unlocking wealth, having a cheerful heart, and utilizing that cheerful heart by being a giver, right? A cheerful giver. That's why I said a cheerful heart, a cheerful giver. And that's why you guys, this topic is so necessary for me. And I believe the rest of the world should understand it as well. And I think that's one of the things that we so lack in so many areas, that we may really believe that, well, you know what? I think I'm doing right. I think I'm good. And today, listen, guys, I want some participation from you all, right? I want you guys to really just dive in. Type in the chat. Just work with me today based on how you're feeling on the dialogue that we're having at this leadership summit. Now, when we have these leadership summit, we always talk about strategic conversations, and we really talk about things that can affect us not only in our lives, but globally overall, and things that we might be missing. So a lot of the times we look at the situation in a whole scope of what's happening to us, right? What's happening to us because of what someone is inflicting upon us, or things like we're always looking at pointing your finger to the situation. That's really how we look at it. I point my finger to the situation, and we don't look at what we actually are doing, what we are bringing to the table, right? I want to make sure, and I know you guys are inviting your team members. I know I have awesome team members on here that will let you all in depending on what platform you're coming in. So, I want to make sure that you guys are inviting those people. So as we dive into this, that the team members are going to let you guys in, right? Okay. But I want to really talk about this because it's really been on my mind. And this principle is very important for us to exceed in life, for us to success, to gain success, to see success, to be success, to be in a space of wholeness. It is really key for us to understand giving. This is why, for those who are my scholars, guys, today's topic, we're talking about giving and receiving. And it's really important for us to have this dialogue coming off of such an awesome weekend. And like I said, I salute the mothers. And I met a lot of people in yesterday's moving about some of the things that we did. And I always say, when I say, hey, happy Mother's Day, someone said, well, I'm not a mom yet. I always tell them, I said, listen, well, I want you to think deeply about that. You may not physically have carried a child, but you are mentoring someone. You're mothering someone through mentorship. So that is a blessing to know that you've been giving your insight into someone's life. So not because you haven't carried within that 9-month period, that doesn't mean you're not a mother, right? I think sometimes we take it so literally, and we got to understand that there is the two difference, but it still works out to be the same thing in retrospect of the mentorship. that you'll find a lot of women has given to individuals, right? And if you guys understand that, go ahead and put some sevens in the chat. If you understand that, put some sevens in the chat, right? If you understand that, put some seven in the chat. Now, what I want to talk about today about this giving is the principal law, right? It's a principal law. And you guys heard a while ago as you were hearing them talk on that short clip, they were talking about the law of giving. And it is so important. It is so important in everything in our lives. That law of giving. You know, in the good book, in the book of Acts, one of the things that the Messiah talked about is that you should be a cheerful giver. You should give more than worrying about receiving. And when I first read that and heard that, I was like, okay, well, I mean, I should give and not worry about receive. Then, okay, why am I giving? These were things I was thinking about when I was younger, when I was reading that. And I was like, why am I giving? I should be a cheerful giver. Okay? And I was thinking in my mind, well, then maybe I need something in return if I need to give. And I didn't understand the principle. I didn't understand that. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that's a big effect in our lives today because we give with the concept of reception. We want to receive something back, right? We're like, okay, the only reason I'm going to give is if I'm going to receive something back. But then we talk about the things that we want to achieve in our life. We talk about getting through these doors and getting to a certain level, but we can't understand some simple principles that we're not following. See, today's topic is going to really take you down to a different place because you might be saying, okay, he's talking about giving. What does that have to do? Well, you will find out. This is why this is so key for us to understand. So let's talk about this for a second, right? Now, let's talk about the construct. Let's talk about the construct of things for a minute, right? Now, all things, as we know, before us was created, right? But according to scientists, physicists, and cosmologists, they came up with the construct of the creation as well. For most of you who might have read this growing up or heard it, the Big Bang. You know, that's the Big Bang theory, how things were created. How did all of these things get started, right? And they said it was a matter of because of the Big Bang. They talked about the fact that because of this, then life, this universe that we know, evolved and was created over a slow period of time. That's what they said. Over a slow period of time, this universe was created, right? Now, that was their concept of how these things were created. Now, they went further, but I want you guys, I insist that you all, if you haven't ever studied on this, that you really participate in going and obtain the information, the knowledge, so that you can understand and become wiser as you step into getting to a certain level in your life, right? So they said this is how this construct, this is how the universe was started, right? They said there was an interaction, there was a cosmic force that came into play and started this process over billions of years ago, right? This is what they said. Now, according to the book of Genesis, in the good book, the Bible, right? According to the book of Genesis, it says that the Most High, God, created the universe. He said he created all things, heavenly bodies, right? And the sun, the moon, the stars, and all of these things were created within 6 days. So you have the scientists and the cosmologists that said one thing, and then we have the good book that says another. But I want you guys to understand something so you'll understand how important this is and why we're having this dialogue. Now, I want you to understand if something just came into play and then created this universe over a period of time, slow period of time, then the dialogue that we are about to have right now, right? This dialogue that we're about to have would not, in my opinion, exist. Now, if you guys can hear me, Ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear me, go ahead and put one in the chat. If you can hear me, put one in the chat. If you can hear me, put one in the chat. If you can hear me, put one in the chat. I want to make sure that you all can hear me. Put one in the chat if you can hear me. Okay? Put one in the chat if you can hear me. I want to make sure everyone can hear me. Put one in the chat if you can hear me, ladies and gentlemen. Put one in the chat if you can hear me. I want to make sure everyone can hear me clearly. Awesome, awesome. So I want to make sure that you guys understand what we're talking about right now. Now, how I look at this is, according to more studies, you have scientists and physicists who then said, well, the theory to them it made sense, but then you had a few that says, well, no, because it had to be, even though this has happened, there had to be a bigger source in play. A source that this mathematical construct that Einstein later spoke of in relativity, this construct had to have some type of creator. Now, I want you to understand how amazing this is, because you got to understand, right? The construct had to have some kind of creator, because when the creation happened, as we know, according to those who believe in the good book, we know that he created all things. And in the all things that he created, he formed it in the way that he best seen for us who now was going to be a part of this. Now, if something was created out of nothing with no hand or no power that will construct it, then how can we have the dialogue I'm about to have right now? What am I talking about? The laws. See, here's the thing. Our bodies and our minds, ladies and gentlemen, are in a constant state of giving and receiving with the universe. So I need you to understand, when the creation happened, check this out. When the creation happened, I couldn't sit and say, hey, what is this Big Bang Theory? It doesn't make sense to me. Because when the universe was created, there were laws that was put in place to make sure that everything functions according to the way that it needed to be. So the functionality needed to be done and had to function effectively, so that when we arrived, everything would work harmoniously together. Is somebody with me? If you guys are with me, type 1. If you guys are with me, type 1. I want to make sure I didn't lose you guys. If you guys are with me, type 1. I want some participation here, because we're going down the line so you can understand. To some of you who, when we talk universe, right, I need you to understand. It didn't appear out of a big bang, in my opinion. It didn't appear out of a big bang. See, here's the thing, because you got to understand that the universe is not your creator. The universe was created for you. Come on, somebody. I'm hoping you're following me. So here's how we're going to break this down, so you guys will follow me. Here's how we're going to break this down. For those who might be saying, what are you talking about? Well, let's go a little deeper. Okay? Let's go a little deeper. See, if the universe was just appeared out of nowhere, then it wouldn't have the laws in place that allows us to get to where we need to get to. Okay? It wouldn't have those laws in place, because those laws had to be in place for us to be able to operate a certain way. Those laws have to be in place for us to be able to operate a certain way. So you got to understand that the creation of the universe, then the laws were put in place. That's why you know that there was a hand that did the creation, because those laws had to be put in place that will work harmoniously with us being a part of it. So when I said to you all about this weekend and understanding about giving and receiving, and I talked about when I was studying early as I was younger, and I hear you need to be a cheerful giver, I was expecting, well, if I give, I should get something in return. But then I understood that if I give with a heart of expectation, then that is not giving at all. If I give with a heart of expectation, that is not giving at all. So the laws and principle that was put in place was so effective. So when I said our bodies and our minds are in constant state of giving and receiving with the universe. So remember, all things that was created were created to work harmoniously with us. They were created to work harmoniously with us. So during creating, as I said, these laws were put in place to ensure proper functionality. But when you look at, according to contemporary cosmologists, the universe began with an explosion. Okay? As we talked about when I said about the Big Bang. But I said to you all, according to the text, according to the Bible, it says that God created the heaven and earth. So in other words, God created the universe and all the heavenly body. I'm hoping somebody's following me, because he put things in place. This is why the things that happen to you in your life happens to you, because he put things in place. There were laws that was put in place. Okay? Now let's talk about this for a little bit. Let's talk about this for a little bit. See, a lot of us, we want to get to a level and we want to be grand, but then we have segments. We start saying, okay, I'm going to segregate this. These people over here, they're good because they were gifted or they just got something. But me, I'm going through a lot because, people are stepping on me. They don't want us or this percentage to rise up because they're holding us back. Not realizing that those laws that was put in place that will work harmoniously with us, if you're not applying those laws, ladies and gentlemen, then it's not working harmoniously with you. And if it's not working harmoniously with you, then you're being stagnated. Let me break it down to you. The way how the universe flows is that energy is constantly flowing. Information is constantly flowing. And your body is a vessel that energy moves through, information moves through, and it's constantly moving in harmony with us. And if you, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand something. If you do not apply the laws that was put in place, it's as if you decided, okay? Awesome. Can you guys hear me? Awesome. It's like you decided that, look, I'm not going to move in alignment with this law, so I'm going to stop. And when you stop, let me give you an example. It's as if you have blood flowing through your body. And when the blood that's flowing through your body, if that blood stops, what happens? If that blood stops, what happens? You have stagnation. The blood coagulates. So then there's no movement. And if there's no movement, it leads to another outcome. This is the same concept of how energy and information consistently moves through the universe. And you being a body constructed to be able to utilize that flow. Come on, somebody. If y'all with me, type 7 in the chat. So let's talk about something, because when we talk about getting to another level, let's talk about the word affluence. Let's talk about that for a second. And you will understand how it is all of us who are gifted with affluence. And understanding how those laws and those principles that was put in place, how it can be applied to be a cheerful giver. See, affluence means to flow in abundance. We talked about if that blood is flowing. Think about the laws. What goes up must come down. What goes out must come back. There's a rotation going on. So affluence means to flow in abundance, to flow abundantly. That's what it means. So if that blood is flowing through your body, if you're allowing that blood to flow through because you're not doing anything that will cause coagulation, or you're not treating yourself in a certain way that it would be stagnancy, right? So there's a flow going on, unless you do the wrong thing, like we eat the wrong things, or we consume too much of certain things, and then we have an issue. We have a blockage, we have a clog, we have stagnancy. The principles of following these laws is being open so energy will flow through you. So energy would flow through you. Are y'all with me? Are y'all with me, family? Are y'all with me? So when you hear of affluence, just talk about money for a second. Money is really a symbol of life's energy. When you hear affluence, I said to flow abundantly. Money is a symbol of life energy, right? And it's the same energy that is used to result to service, for the service that we provide to the universe. The same service we provide to the universe, that energy that we give out. So what am I saying? Money, right, is really a symbol of life's energy. So what it means that when you get money, when you work and you get money, you're not to hoard your money. You're not to hold on and lock it down. You're to go ahead and give money. Money came in so that it can go back out to work. See, there must be a steady flow of things. There must be consistency flowing. See, when I'm telling you about being a cheerful giver, I'm telling you that giving simply means that when the money comes in, you're not to hoard it. You're not to say, hold on, I don't want to give this money back out, because the money came out to work. And if the money don't go out to work, then you're stagnating the life's energy, the very energy that serves the universe. And guess what happens when that stagnation is happening? Then the person who is holding on to that thing will feel a wrath based on the principles of the law. I'm hoping somebody's following me. And I hope you guys are having your pen and your pads and like I said, grab some folks on this call. This is extremely important for you to understand how important this is. This is extremely important. See, money, another word for money is currency. Another word for money is currency. Now, currency comes from the Latin word called currere. Currency comes from the Latin word called currere, which means to run or to flow. To run or to flow. And when you hear affluence, affluence means I flow, run to, flow towards. I'm hoping somebody's following me. The flow that you need to have with the consistency of being a cheerful giver. I hope somebody's following me. See, when we hear of the word affluent, we said, okay, well, these folks are affluent. Well, I need you to understand this. Affluent, having a great deal of money, right? That's one of the meanings. So having a great deal of money, wealthy. That's what it's talking about. Being affluent, right? That's what one of the meanings talks about with being affluent. Said, having an abundance. Listen, one of them said having an abundance of goods and riches. Okay, being very affluent, right? Having an abundance of goods and riches. What are some other words that people use for affluence? They say rich. They say opulent. But I'm saying to you that affluence, to flow, run towards. So there's a flow of something. So you see, when we're hearing things and we're caught up on what the masses are saying, but we ourselves are not seeking knowledge so that we can gain understanding, then we fall into that segregated side that I said, well, no, they're gifted over here. This is the reason why they get what they get. And we are over here. They don't really want us to win. So they suppress us. And these are why our neighborhoods look this way. And this is why nothing can happen for me. I've been struggling all my life. And yes, I'm a giver. I don't know what he's talking about. I'm a giver. So how is he telling me that I'm in this position because of me? See, when you can start thinking that exact way and reciting those things, then you got to check yourself. That means you're not following the principle of the laws. See, this is not me calling you out. This is me telling you that there were laws that were put in place when the universe was created to work in harmony with us. So understand that there had to be a hand that created the universe, because that hand had to put laws in place that will work harmonious with us, because all things was created before us, and then we came into play because it was created for us. Is somebody with me? Type 10. If you're with me, type 10. Come on, family. If you're with me, type 10. I want to make sure that you guys are following me. If you're with me, type 10. This is extremely important for you to hear this, because when we hear affluence, we say, wow, you know, they talked about having goods and property and money in abundance or intrinsically valuable things. They talk about these things. But you got to understand that affluence to flow. You have that access. You have that access. So you got to remember that every relationship is one of give and take. Every relationship. Every relationship you're in your life. So some of you are saying, well, I don't have a man, I don't have a lady. No, we're saying every relationship is one of give and take. Every relationship. See, you must understand that giving generates receiving. And receiving generates giving. Come on, somebody. Giving generates receiving, and receiving generates giving. As I mentioned, I said, what goes up must come down. What goes out must come back. Principle laws. Principle laws. It is all a flow of energy. It is all a flow of energy. So when you stop these things, come on, somebody. When you stop these things, you interfere with the natural flow. When you stop these things, you interfere with the natural flow, the natural intelligence of how the universe was constructed, designed to work in harmony with you. When you stop these things, think about it as a seed for a second. In the good book, it talks about having faith as a mustard seed. And the more that I study in my life, the more information I intake, the more knowledge I acquire. Because see, here's the thing. Some of us may say, well, I'm wise, I got wisdom. But here's the thing. Understanding cannot come without knowledge, and knowledge has to come through you reading and studying. You cannot acquire knowledge if you didn't read or if you don't read. And you cannot acquire understanding if you don't have the knowledge. This is very important. Think of it like a seed. When a seed, every seed that you know carries an abundance inside of it. Every seed that you know carries an abundance inside of it. Every seed carries whatever the fruit is in a multiple amount. A seed may carry a forest in it. Okay? Think of that seed. Think of it for a second. And when that seed is planted, it releases what is stored up inside of it to the world. But it must be planted on fertile ground. It must be planted on fertile ground. So I need you to understand how this works. Because these are the principles of you achieving the affluence that is already yours. Come on, somebody. These are the principles of you achieving the affluence that is already yours. So abundance, right, will be circulating in your life once you plant that seed on fertile ground. Because the more you give, the more you receive. You don't have the seed and hoard the seed. But I'm not going to plant this seed. Some of you say, well, is he really just talking literally about a seed? No, I got the information. I'm not going to share this information. I got to this level by myself. I'm not going to help anybody else. Oh, this is who I am. I'm self-made, and everybody else, no, they're going to kick rocks. They're like crabs in a barrel. You were coagulating. You were stagnating. You're not working on the principle of things. You're not working on the principle of things. You got to understand the laws, ladies and gentlemen. See, it's not about you when you understand the principles of the laws, because all things are for you when you understand the principles of the laws. All things are for you when you understand the principles of the law. So guess what? Whatever you want, I want you guys, as you move forward today, I want you to think about this. Whatever you want, whatever it is that you desire, right? Whatever it is that you want, you have to practice giving by doing. You have to practice giving by doing, ladies and gentlemen. This is very important. So whatever you seek, you have to give it. Whatever you seek, you have to give it. So some of you, I seek love. Well, you got to give love. I seek having good people around me. Well, then you need to be good to those around you. Good to yourself. Good to those that are currently around you. Then you will attract that which needs to be in your presence. Well, I want to be a CEO. Well, you have to start operating in the mindset and the belief of a CEO. And you got to give it. But here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. In other words, right, the good things you seek, you first need to bless everyone with it. Those good things that you seek, got to bless everyone. This is where it comes down to when I understood giving with a cheerful heart, being a cheerful giver. Because see, the way how the construct was designed, it's designed that when you give with a clear heart, with a cheerful heart, your interest is in seeing that individual that you gave to flourish. I'm hoping somebody's with me. When you give with a cheerful heart, you are concerned with seeing that individual flourish. And when you are concerned with seeing someone flourish, when you are so in depth in the space of helping and serving, guess what happens? It comes back to you, ladies and gentlemen. It comes back to you. See, guys, I need you to understand something. I remember many years ago, my wife, she was doing life coaching as she transitioned into a more blossom space of business coaching. And these individuals that needed the coaching might have secured her time for maybe an hour, maybe 30 minutes. But my wife would spend, if it's an hour, she's on for 3 hours. If it was a 2-hour time frame, she's on for 4 hours. If it was to be a live visual, she's on there for hours teaching and educating and giving information. And I remember saying, you're giving so much of your time. Isn't that draining you? I remember saying this. And then her response to me was that I love to see people thrive off of the information I'm giving. At that point, she was helping a lot of the ladies, and she said, I love to see my ladies win. And it struck something in me. I said, wow, you've been giving, but boy, you've been giving at a certain level, and your return ain't gonna come the way you expect it to come, because you know why? You don't have that cheerful heart the way that you need to. You need to relinquish all barriers. This is me talking to me. You need to relinquish all barriers, and you just need to serve. What you expect, you need to give it. But not give it with expectations in return, knowing that these are things in the heart, but you're serving wholeheartedly to see someone win. If you guys are with me, type 7 in the chat. If you guys are with me, type 7 in the chat. See, remember, we're a body of energy. All of us, we're a body of energy. Energy flows through us, in, through, and around us. We're a body of energy, ladies and gentlemen. We embody energy and information in this universe that was created for us. And the universe itself has energy and information that it will then give back to us. Come on, come on. You got to understand how the principle works. We embody energy and information, and the universe embodies energy and information. So what you give, you shall surely receive. And when you give cheerfully, you will receive in abundance. As we talked about affluence, flow towards abundantly. So what is that telling you? It's telling you that all of us are affluent. All of us. But if we could only understand the principle of giving. See, that principle of giving, it is giving and receiving, because when you give, you will receive, but you have to give with a cheerful heart, with no expectation of reception. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. I'm hoping y'all are following me. I'm hoping you guys are following me. See, this is the same as consciousness. This is the same as consciousness. You hear some people say, I'm conscious, I'm awoke. Let them talk about this, right? See, consciousness simply implies that it's more than just energy and information. When people say, I'm conscious, I'm awoke, it implies there's more than just energy and information. It means energy and information which is alive in thoughts. See, somebody said they're woke. Guess what? Consciousness. It's not just energy and information and it stops there. It's that energy and information that is alive. So it's telling me that we're in a living universe. For some of you, you might be caught thinking, well, nah, things are bad for me, man. You don't know how bad things been. It's been bad for the last 20 years of my life. Oh, it's only been bad because you don't understand the laws and the principle of how you should utilize those laws. You got to understand that. See, that energy and information that you have that's flowing through in and around you, the universe have it to give it back to you. But guess what? It means now that your consciousness of that energy and information, it's alive as a thought. So that simply means that our thoughts becomes things. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Our thoughts becomes things. That's why I say, as a man thinketh, so is he. See, the more I delve in and the more I dive into my studies, I get to realize, I said, okay, no, there couldn't be no Big Bang. Because if something just formed and it's just there and evolving, but there's no principle laws behind it, then explain to me the law of gravity in depth. Explain to me the karmic law. Explain to me that the go out and come back. Explain to me the notion of love and the principle behind it. Explain to me giving and receiving. So I knew they had to be a hand, a power that created the universe, that put these laws in place that will work in harmony with us. So you got to understand that because it's working and because the energy and the information is constantly moving, it is alive, right, as thought. So then you got to ask yourself, ooh, what am I thinking about? How much am I thinking about? Ooh, what are these thoughts I'm thinking about? Because I just said I'm going to go down and give, and then right away I thought, to give what? What I have to give. And those thoughts manifest into the outcome that you are receiving right now in your life. So what you're receiving, I need some of us to, when you get off of this summit, go to the mirror. Go to the mirror. Go to the mirror and look at yourself. One of the greatest songs to me that Michael Jackson ever sang is the man in the mirror. We got to look at the mirror. Got to look at self, because we blame everyone else and we don't understand. If the principle laws are practiced, then you will be in an abundance flow of all things that you seek. Okay? Your thoughts transforms into things, ladies and gentlemen. So you got to understand how important that is. See, the most powerful form of giving is non-material things. So for those who are saying, well, I decided to give, but then those thoughts came up, what am I going to give? Because what do I have? Non-material things. Simply by showing your support to someone who is trying to step up in life, get to another level, have an idea, and they said, I want to do this. This is going to really just blow out. I'm feeling the passion for this. I desire this. Don't bring a shutdown. Be a support. Show love. Show appreciation. A prayer for those people that is close to you, that those people that you love. Put up that prayer. See, a lot of the times, these non-material things, a lot of it can be done also in private for those individuals without you seeking anything in return. So it's not all about the monetary physical thing that you have to provide. You got to understand this concept, ladies and gentlemen. You got to understand how it was created for you to succeed. Some of us miss the point. See, I was teaching on image, and I did the second segment last summit. And I want you to understand something. When the creator, the hand, the power that created this universe for you said that I created you in the likeness and the image of who I am. Somebody, I want somebody to think for a second. Think with the conscious mind. The mind that knows that energy and information, it's alive in thought. So think with a conscious mind for a second. And say that you created something, and that something that you created was for a purpose of greatness to you. Wouldn't you, who created that something that was in purpose of greatness for you, then create an atmosphere that will work in conjunction with that something? I want somebody to go ahead. If you understand me, type I understand. If you understand me, type I understand. If you understand me, type I understand. I want to make sure that you guys understand me fully. Come on, somebody. Who's with me out here? Type I understand. See, you would create that atmosphere, because that atmosphere will allow that which you've created to strive. So I want you to think about how the Most High created the universe. That most of us running around here because we lack some information when information is flowing all the way through, but we lack the information and we start putting the universe as your creator. Ooh, somebody be careful. It was created to work harmoniously with you. It is not your creator. It is your helper working in alignment for the greater good that you will put out, or the bad that you will put out. So guess what? Whatever side of the coin you're on, those laws are going to give it to you. Whatever side of the coin that you're on, those laws are going to give it to you. So if you understand that principle, then practicing the law of giving, ladies and gentlemen, understanding that affluence is your birthright, it's amazing. See, remember, your true nature is one of affluence and abundance. That is your true nature. And this is because nature supports every need and desire. Nature supports every need and desire. So guess what? This is because, why? The starting point of all achievement is desire. The starting point of all achievement is desire, and nature supports it because you embody affluence and abundance. It is yours. So affluence or being affluent, it is your birthright, ladies and gentlemen. It is your birthright, no matter how much or how little you have. This is what I came to tell you today. No matter how much or little you have to give with a cheerful heart and follow this principle law, the law of giving. That is a spiritual law. That is a law that was created to work for you because of the abundance of energy that's flowing, information that's flowing. It is not locked away for only one group. It is not locked away to where only a high percentage has it and you cannot. It is available for all of mankind. 24 hours is given to all mankind. How you utilize those hours is up to you. What you do in those hours is up to you. Understanding the principle in life and these laws is up to you. So when we start looking at things that has nothing to do with the principle of life, when we're caught up in a world of a facade and we're looking at construct that is deterring us from what is supposed to be, then that is what you will get in return. Come on, somebody. If you want more of annoyance, that's what you will get in return. If you want more greatness, that is what you will get in return. If you want more love and give love, that is what you will get in return. If you want more affection and give affection, that is what you will get in return, as long as it's being given with a cheerful heart. So it's as that seed. You can have the seed, but if it's not planted on fertile ground, then it can't bring forth what's locked up inside of it. So the universe got all this energy and information inside of it, but you are not unlocking it because you are not using that fertility soil, meaning that heart, that desire, that starting point that will allow you to achieve all things, because affluence and abundance is already your birthright. It is already yours. So you are not unlocking it by giving and sowing the seed and being cheerful, because you are finding reasons to shut down the thought of giving. You're saying they don't want me to arrive. I got all this blockage. Look at these things that's happening in my life. You must understand that there is always going to be a test. So if you guys have missed the series before, and I still have one more to complete, the image series, then you want to go ahead and catch that on Spotify. You want to go ahead and catch that. Search Mr. Boston and go ahead and pull that up, Audible. You want to get that so you will understand that likeness and image. It's important why he put it first, because there will always be a test. Because without a test, there can't be a testimony. And you got to understand the principles. And once you understand those principles and you apply them, the reward is so satisfying. Because when it comes with no expectation, is when you know that you're walking into a room of greatness, walking into a space of honor, walking into a space of favor, walking into a space of delight, because you didn't expect anything, because you were just serving, you were just giving with a cheerful heart, you were just being wholesome, you weren't caught up on what you need to get in return, because you were just serving with a cheerful heart. So when you walk into greatness, you wouldn't have even known, because by the time you look back, it's like being in a storm and pushing through. The storm would be behind you. You would be delighting in glory and saying, how did I achieve this? How did I achieve this? So from today on, as you guys go forth, I want you guys to understand something. When you see some folks doing well, understand there's a lot of people doing well that don't even understand the principle. Some of you right now might be saying, hold on a minute. There is folks that are doing well that don't even understand those principles. They're just doing. But but they don't understand the principle. And here's the thing. You may say, well, then you don't have to understand the principle to do well. Here's the thing. You could be applying a principle, but what will happen with lack of understanding is that you would only do what you know how to do. And when there is a time for a shift and the depth of understanding that it's not just energy and information flowing, but it's energy and information that's alive in thought. So you understand the application, you understand the information that brings knowledge, and the knowledge that brings understanding, and the understanding that births wisdom. See, that is what knowing the principal laws will give to you, versus being someone who you see, well, he's rising, but you really don't understand what he had really done. This is why they say if you want to know something and want to get to somewhere, seek someone who has done what you are looking to do already. Seek them, seek mentorship. Ask them, show me how you have done this, and become a student and listen, pay attention, and follow exactly. Do not go into mentorship with your concept and don't want to listen to the mentor who you are seeking the exact thing that that individual has done. It's that simple. Don't reinvent the wheel. You want to be a great giver, and you know somebody who you believe to be a great giver, and it's been challenging for you, then you want to get right beside that individual. Hey, how do you execute this? What have you done? How can I become better at giving so that I too can be in a clear space, a clear mind, and free these chains that's so locked away on my wrist and my ankle? Because why? These chains are chains of hurt, of not giving, of me saying, I'm going to give, but I don't have nothing. So what am I going to give them? Because you don't understand those principles. So you got to understand what I said, that because the starting point of all achievement is desire, ladies and gentlemen. Affluence, I said, is being affluent. It is your birthright, no matter how little or how much you have. Because why? That word potential, potentiality, is a storehouse of wealth. Potentiality is a storehouse of wealth. So the starting point to all achievement is desire. But then potential. So how does your creator, who created the universe, expect you to now follow these principal laws? By the law of potential. You said you want it. You said you need it. I want that position so much. I want to elevate so bad. I want to travel across the country, across the world so bad. That desire is burning. So it's your starting point. But do you have the potential? So you got to understand. Because of that desire, you have a storehouse of wealth. That's what potentiality is. It's a storehouse of wealth waiting for you. The universe has it all waiting for you. Why? Because the hand that created the universe is the Most High. And those things, those laws that was put in place are put in place to work harmoniously with you. So when you sow the seed, when you give with a cheerful heart, guess what comes back at you? So here's the thing I want you guys to walk away with today. I want you to understand these simple things. Whatever you wish to achieve, you have to give it. So do what? Seek joy. Write it down. Seek love. Seek laughter. Seek peace. Seek harmony and knowledge. See, if you seek these things and then you give it out, you give it out, you give out that love, that information that you had, you don't hoard it, you share it. Wow, I acquired some knowledge. So guess what, people? Here it is. Share it out. Don't hoard it. Laughter. Be joyful. Be joyful. Be in peace and harmony. Don't let the outer things anger you. You will be tried and tested. But guess what? Get back into your space of harmony. So that as you get back into your space of harmony, you can fall back in line with the principle, because there is something doing this. If I can give you an example, this is the example I will give to you. There's something doing this. It's going around and around and around, and outside of around, it's flowing to and from, to and from. This is what's happening. So there's an around, and there's a to and from, and you want to get caught on the sideline because you're not harmonious. You want to get caught on the sideline because you don't want to give. You want to get caught on the sideline. You say, what is there to love about? You want to get caught in the sideline. What is there to have peace about? You want to get caught in the sidelines. I don't want all of that knowledge. I don't want none of that. What they trying to give me. They're trying to force that down my throat. You want to get caught in the sideline. Oh, no, they said some man wrote that book. I don't believe in that. That's a religious thing. Ooh, you're missing the principle. This is not a religious thing. This is a principle and law thing. Every time you set your mind and your thoughts on, I don't believe, I don't believe, I don't believe, I don't like, just think about what goes up must come down. What goes out must come back. And we see examples of this all the time. Because if you climbed on a skyscraper and someone is to jump off, you're not going to go up. You're going to go down. That is a law. That is not a religious thing. It is a law. So if you give, you shall receive. But giving with a cheerful heart. So have your seed planted on fertile ground. That one seed can have a forest inside of it. That's why when a seed is planted, there's roots that goes out. And the roots goes all over to be fertile, to hold down that tree, because that tree has to be firm to bring forth that fruit. Now here's what I'm gonna leave you with. Some of you say, but I've been being good, I've been giving, I've been practicing this law, Mr. Boston. But then it ain't your season yet. Because that seed that is planted, it brings forth fruit in its season. So if you planted in the wintertime on a fertile ground, but in a place that you have to constantly nourish and take care of and make sure that you are doing what needs to be done to that soil and that seed, but that seed is to bloom in autumn, a whole year away, then you got to wait for that season. If it's a bamboo tree, you got to wait for 5 years or more. Got to wait for that season. So don't give with the intentions of receiving, because your time is not the time of how the universe works for us. That's why you hear people say your time is not God's time. But if you understand the principles, then you will get it in the appointed time, because you would have been practicing these laws. And there's something amazing about these laws. Though you're tried and tested, these laws put you in a place of harmony when you understand that you are a vessel for energy to flow in and around and through you. And that same energy, when it comes in, the information that you acquire, you are to give it right back out, so that you do not stop the natural flow of that which is giving you back the energy. So I want you guys to go forward today and understand of how important it is to get to your level of affluence, because affluence is your birthright. Abundance is your birthright. So when somebody tells you moving forward that you're not affluent, what are you talking about? Look at how you living. Laugh at that. You don't even have to say a word. You don't need to speak. Those who have understanding do not speak at a table of fools. Come on, somebody. Because when someone tells you that, you're laughing because you know it's your birthright. And if you're practicing the laws, guess what happened? Your season must come, will come. And you will be celebrating, understanding those principles. That is when you will then understand why you see. Someone like myself said, I give glory to the Creator, because I know that there's a hand that has created the universe, that I will never come out of my mouth to say that the universe is my creator when it's working in harmony with me to get what I need to get. That tells me that my creator is so amazing. So as you guys go out into the week understanding that it is yours. It is already there. It is already a birthright. Practice the principle of giving with a cheerful heart, with no expectation. Whatever you seek, give it out wholeheartedly. You want comfort, then you have to give comfort to those who need it around you by speaking, talking, sharing, praying, showing love. And you will see an amazing outcome. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you guys for joining me today. This was so close on my heart because this weekend meant so much to me. People will say, well, mothers should be celebrated all the time. Yes, they should. But see, I understand also the principle of celebrating. When in Rome, do what they do in Rome. When something is then highlighted, then we should follow that principle and do the same. This isn't a, oh, you're following it to spend the money. No, this is a appreciation, a giving. That is what it was about. How do I serve the woman in my life who is the mother of my children? How do I serve the mother that takes care of the home? How do I serve the mothers that surround me? How do I serve this abundance of wealth that's moving around me? How do I serve it? And I figured it out by just giving with a cheerful heart will only bring me closer to harmony and peace. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what I want you guys to hold on to as you get off into the week. I love you guys. You guys continue to be blessed. Continue to be in abundance of all things. Whatever you need, feel free to reach out. If there's a word, if there's a prayer, whatever it is, I want to be a part of the sowing the seed of love, of harmony, of peace, just good vibes. Let's continue to do it. Let's continue to win. Again, it's Mr. Boston. Do not forget to invite to the Leadership Summit every Mondays at 6:30 p.m. EST time. And go right ahead, ladies and gentlemen. Join. Check me out on Spotify. Check me out on Audible. Go ahead. Get caught up with the Leadership Summit so you too can apply some of these things that I've been applying in my life to yours and those around you. Love you guys. You guys continue to be blessed. And I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye. Love y'all. See you guys next week. Same time. Do not miss it. Definitely do not miss it.